Welcome back. Unmanned absentee ballot drop boxes are now illegal in Wisconsin, just a month away from the August 9th primary. In a closely watched case, the Wisconsin Supreme Court voted 4-3 Friday and said voters must either mail absentee ballots or deliver them to their clerk's offices. The use of drop boxes exploded in 2020 during the pandemic. Claire Woodall-Vogue is head of Milwaukee's Elections Commission. She joins us now. Claire, good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
What's your initial reaction to this ruling and what does it mean?
I think that we are not surprised by this ruling, given the lower court's ruling and the timing of this decision. But we are still committed to doing everything we can to making it convenient to return an absentee ballot. So the city of Milwaukee will continue to offer curbside drop-off where you don't have to leave your car at all of our early voting sites going forward.
Walk me through that a little bit, because as this was going through the courts in the spring, you had election staff at drop boxes for specific hours and specific times. Is that still legal under this ruling? Is that something we're going to see in August and November?
Yes. So in this ruling, the court confirmed that you can drop off absentee ballots at what are called alternate absentee locations, which are all of our in-person early voting sites. So we will continue to do that. And I think given how important these elections are and how high turnout will be, we will staff curbside so that you don't have to get out of your car likely every single day of early voting at all of our sites.
But this limits what we would have seen, for example, from 2020 when people could just walk up to a box and throw their ballot in.
Yes, and most importantly, this limits voters who might wait until that last week to request their ballot. Maybe something comes up, they're going out of town, they receive their ballot in the mail, let's say on Thursday or Friday. It's not safe to put that ballot back in the mail because there's no guarantee that we will receive it by Tuesday. And so those voters now have to either go only to an early voting site or the clerk's office in order to return that ballot. And it's really unfortunate because our drop boxes were convenient, they were secure. We had 15 of them across the city, and you could drop them off 24 hours a day. And 2 members of our staff would actually be the ones picking them up each day.
That was one of the main concerns from some of the critics. How do you know, and how do you know they were secure?
We know they were secure because we have 24-hour video surveillance. We have security seals on them that show if someone's tampered with them. We count all of the number of ballots that are received in a box and then double count that number when they are returned by our election commission staff to our warehouse. So there are lots of checks and balances that you don't necessarily see in the post office stream. The ruling is what it is, so we're going to try to do everything that we can to make voting still accessible and removing any barriers that an absentee voter might face when trying to return their ballot.
So the court ruling said you have to either drop off your absentee ballot or you have to mail it. What's the problem with requiring that? Is there an issue with that, with what the court decided?
I think I would side with Justice Hagedorn, who says that they are just interpreting the law as the legislature has written it. And the state statutes are agreeably silent on the use of drop boxes and whether that's an extension of the clerk's office. But as he points out, this is not going to be a popular opinion. Voters have shown a preference for drop boxes. And so the important thing is to not let this discourage you and continue to get out and vote so that you can see the legislative change that you want in the future, especially around voting rights in Wisconsin.
Claire Woodall-Vogue, Executive Director of the Milwaukee Election Commission. Claire, thank you. J.R. Ross is editor of WisPolitics.com, our editorial partner. J.R., good to see you. What do you make of this court's ruling and what are the implications moving forward?
Well, the big takeaway is we're going to vote this fall like we did pre-2020. At the same time, the people who got used to drop boxes in 2020 don't have that option going forward. I don't know how big of an impact it's going to have on voting this fall, because I don't know how people are going to vote absentee compared to 2020. The pandemic has settled down somewhat. Obviously, we're not seeing numbers like we did in 2020. A vaccine is available. Life is, for the most part, back to normal in Wisconsin. So what I'm wondering is, will we vote like we used to pre-2020? That might dictate how much of an impact this really has on our voting habits going forward.
There was a separate lawsuit involving health officials that the court put out on Friday as well that said health officials can issue health orders without seeking the guidance or the approval from lawmakers. Justice Hagedorn sided with the more liberal justices in that decision, with the more conservative justices on the ballot box decision. How closely is his vote, and is everyone at this point just watching what he does on these big decisions?
Oh, he is the most important Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin right now. What's fascinating, though, is because he's become such a swing vote, he may have hurt himself with his base if he seeks re-election down the road. Now, we're talking, it's going to be a while, right? It's not until 2029. But Hagedorn was elected by a groundswell of support from conservatives who thought he was being unfairly attacked about his personal beliefs. Like, okay, this is guy, he's one of our own. And when I keep hearing from conservatives this feeling of like, they call it Hagedorn, that this guy ran as a conservative, deep red conservative, and now he's not. He sided liberals on big, important issues. One of the biggest ones is probably former President Trump's lawsuit seeking to overturn the election results in 2020. That was one of the first real big breaks you saw from Hagedorn of him saying, no, I've got issues with this, where he lost favor with conservatives.
Real quickly, before you go, Kevin Nicholson dropped out of the race for governor this past week. How significant is that, and what does that do to the race 1 month out from the primary?
Logic tells people that I talk to that Nicholson voters are likely Michaels voters, right? Tim Michaels and Kevin Nicholson have the same profile. Business people, veterans, running as outsiders. You would think that the Nicholson voter would be more likely to gravitate towards Michaels because of that profile. But it's been a two-person race for a while. What I want to watch is we're starting to see the gloves not really come off, but some jabs. They're not really haymakers yet, but some jabs. How does Michaels respond? And does Kleefisch get any blowback because she's going negative? And that's always a danger in politics. If you throw a punch, it could come back and bounce on you. How does that play out in the coming weeks?
A lot of developments as we head into a new week. J.R. Ross, editor of WisPolitics.com. J.R., good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Anytime.
Coming up, the president's upcoming trip to Saudi Arabia and the economic implications in Wisconsin.